You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Mission Log Engage here on the Roddenberry Entertainment Channel on YouTube, where I, Norman Lau, and this fine gentleman,
I'd be John Champion. we're
we,
gonna talk. We're gonna engage.
we're going to take a look at some of your emails that you've sent in to us, and we're going to engage with you on the air, as we say all the time.
Okay, so look, part of the deal with this is that the internet is forever, and we want the comments and questions to speak to some of the larger, the bigger picture stuff in Star Trek. And the reality is, though, that we have just ended our run of DS9. So a lot of the questions and comments are about that. And we wanted to break it up this week. So we are going to come back to that. We didn't want to just constantly be, beating the same drum. So we're going to break it up. And we're going to take a little diversion to something else that, as of this recording, is very current, very timely, and that is Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a show that holds a special place in your heart, Norman.
Certainly.
So we're just going to get right to it. And this is from Emily. And this actually came directly to the mission log -Prodigy at Roddenberry address. So we pulled it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily, referring to Mission Log, says, "The kids' reviews are my favorite part of Mission Log Prodigy. I've been a Mission Log listener for years, and sometimes they make me cry. Is that because of the never-ending pandemic? It's all just so sweet. I love that we have Star Trek for kids. My son Dietrich has been watching Prodigy with us. He finds some parts scary, and we really have to talk him through it, so he'll stay in the room. The Ferengi woman was just too much for him. But he still wanted to do a review for you, so here it is. He's 3 years old, so I repeated much of what he said. He also gets recording shy, so of all the great things he said before recording, I had to remind him during the recording. Hopefully this will work out for you all. If not, I understand. Keep up the great work you're doing. Your podcast make these times more bearable. Emily," and signed with a smiley face. Emily, warming my heart.
Warming my cold chimerium crystal heart, Emily. Thank you so much.
So, I mean, look, we had to share this partly because, yes, in the interests of self-promotion, Mission Log Prodigy has been on the air since Star Trek Prodigy has been on the air, and hopefully that will continue for a very long time to come. But we talked early on about doing this, having, along with you and Ashley, doing your reviews and commentary, having the voices of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Dietrich is our youngest one.
Amazing. 3 years old. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
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 And Emily, thank you for that, and thank you for sharing, your appreciation for what we do here on Mission Log and Mission Log Prodigy. You're right, John. When we first started thinking about what are we going to do for Mission Log Prodigy, how are we going to handle it, I do believe it was Rod's idea that he wanted to hear from the younger listeners, and we didn't know how young. Sometimes we were thinking maybe 10, maybe 8 to 10, somewhere in that Nickelodeon young adult audience demographic. But we're getting callers 5, 6, 3 now, with just the most amazing, real, emotional, heartfelt, heartbreaking responses. And I think why we love hearing these responses so much, I think it's because there is this bridge that's now being made between adult fans of Star Trek and their children who are watching Star Trek with them. And this is a very accessible show to do that. Does it pander towards a specific audience? Maybe. But at the same time, though, adults are still getting a lot of value from the very obvious, sometimes, morals, meanings, and messages. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that we all, from any age group, can be reminded that teamwork is great, trust is great, friendship is great, making sure that the right decisions for the right reasons that are being made are great. These are all very basic understandings from the younger audience's point of view, but a great reminder from the adult audience's point of view. And then you can have this wonderful discussion during the episode at the dinner table while you're doing things at home, talking about Star Trek with the same episode in common. I couldn't even ask for a better, just a better environment for parents and children to be in when it comes to that. I think that is absolutely beautiful.
It's two things that really touch me, which is that one, for anybody who question, will kids today get into Star Trek? Yes. This is it right here. And I love it when you hear from fans who say, like, oh, my first Star Trek was the 2009 J.J. Abrams movie, or my first Star Trek was Next Gen, because that was a generation removed from the original series.
Mhm.
And now my first Star Trek was Prodigy.
Mhm.
And you're talking about a 3-year-old who is not going
Exactly.
to grow up remembering this. And the other thing that is so great about this is just parents and kids watching something and then talking about it, and not just talking about did you like it, but what did you learn?
Mhm.
What came out of that? And to hear that conversation on your show is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the best thing. So Emily, thank you. Dietrich, thank you. Hope
Mhm.
to meet you both someday. And Norman, if people want to reach out with their own comments and voice memos, maybe for your show, where would they do that?
Well, I mean, you can always send your voice memos to missionlog-prodigy at roddenberry.com. If you want to hear Dietrich's voicemail, you can do so at the very end of episode 8. That's First Contact, because that's where the scary Ferengi woman was revealed. But then you can also send your comments and your thoughts to us here at the Roddenberry Entertainment Network. You can email us your messages at missionlog@roddenberry.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that we can share all of this positivity out there with all of you. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at Mission Log Pod. And remember, just like you, Emily and Dietrich, we may engage with your comments on the air.